Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Chess Advance. And with the white pieces today, we have Robert James Fischer, one of the best players of his time. But here now, he was just 18 years old and playing in the 1959 candidates, where Tal was absolutely destroying everyone. And with the black pieces, we have the magician himself, Mikhail Tal. So I'm not going to keep you waiting for long because this is one hell of a game. And yeah, without further ado, let's start with this game. Here, Fischer starts with e4. We have c5 going for Sicilian defense, knight to f3, and just d6. Now we have the Sicilian on the board, so it's definitely going to be a fight. We have d4, c captures, knight captures, and just knight to f6. And here, just knight to c3, a6, going for the knight of variation, and we have just c4. And now, most likely, in the positions, you're going to see this or this. And here, just e6, but now here, bishop to b3, but just bishop to e7. We have f4, immediately striking in the center by Fischer, and here just castles by Tal, and queen to f3, queen to c7 by Tal, and just castles by Fischer. We have b5. Now you're gonna want to push that pawn somewhere along the line. Here just f5, but now just b4 by Tal, attacking that knight. Here knight to a4 and just e5, attacking that knight to e2, but just bishop to b7. And now you can see there's a lot of trouble on that e4 pawn, and now you're gonna have to defend it. So knight to g3, but here just knight bd7, and here bishop to e3, but now just bishop to c6, immediately going for that bishop to f2 move. And here, instead of this bishop to f2, you could also go for this c4. And you cannot go en passant here, because here if you go for that, knight captures, and I will place my knight on this very nice centralized d5 square, and I'm gonna have a great game here after queen to a5. But now queen to d1, and here rook a to c8, and all of this could have happened in the game, but it didn't because of that bishop to f2, because simply because if you play now king to h1, queen to c7, bishop to c2, and now slowly but surely queen to b7, now you can see that there's a lot of pressure against that pawn. And here just bishop to g5, and here after h6, bishop captures, and you'll get the queen to e2, and you'll get this game. Black will have weak pass pawn, but will have a tremendous pressure against your king, and it's a double-edged sword. It could be anyone's game. But here, instead of going for all of this, just bishop to f2, and here just queen to b7, just piling on more pressure. Now you have to defend it with the rook as well. So rook f to e1, but now just d5, immediately striking in the center, releasing the pressure. And here just e captures, knight captures, and now you can see there's a lot of trouble that's coming for for Fischer, because here you could actually go and capture that. But the issue with this is basically after knight bishop captures, now you play knight to e4, and here after knight to f6, now you just capture with a check. And now only now once g captures, now you play this queen to h3, not going for this check because that doesn't make any sense. And here after king to h8, now you play this rook to e3, and here after rook to g8, rook to g3, just mirroring that rook. And here after rook a c8, now you play this rook to c1, defending that f2 pawn. But now here just rook captures, h captures, and now here bishop captures on a2, and now hit g4. But now the queen is going to be jumping on the e4 square, and with the centralized queen, black will definitely have a great game. And with extra pawns, I mean, Tal is not going to leave you. Here hanging, he will beat you. Here after knight captures on d5, but here just knight to e4 was played, avoiding any trades. But here just knight to f4, and now you can see that there's tremendous pressure against this pawn. I mean, this just looks absolutely scary. And once if this line gets open, this is going to be very, very difficult for Fischer to play. So just c4, but now it's a bit too late because here g6, and now here f captures, but not going for f captures. He played f5 in this position, which is just absolutely brilliant move. Here g7, now you're gonna have to capture, king captures, but just queen to g3 check, trying to get out of that pin. And here just king moves, and now you play this knight c to e5. Now you might think like Fischer's troubles are all over, although there is a lot of pressure, but you cannot do anything about it. But just think again, because if this rook gets to this file, I mean, it's gonna be over very quickly. But now the queen is under attack, so you're gonna have to deal with this. So knight captures, bishop captures, and knight captures. But now here just queen to c7, and now it's a very volatile position. You're going to have to be very much careful in this position if you want to survive. But as you can see with the bar, Fischer's position is absolutely crumbling. If you even dare to like go for a move like this, trying to fork both the rooks, but black will happily trade. And here after queen captures, now you play queen captures, rook captures, and here just knight to d4, and now you're a piece down in a completely losing position. You're not winning this game, especially not against Tal. So here queen to c7, queen to e3 was played, trying to keep his hopes alive. But here just rook a to e8, and here just rook to e2, just trying to defend that. But now just knight captures on e2, and here queen captures, now bishop captures on e2, just sacrificing this bishop. And the thing is, you cannot actually capture it, because if you try and even dare to capture it, it just knight captures on a6 was played by Fischer, because attacking the queen. But now just queen to a7 check, and now you can see that there's a lot of trouble. If you can get knight, you're just going to capture it, there's no point. So king captures on g2 was played, but now the actual trouble. All of this, all of that pressure on the g2 pawn with the knight, with the rook, was just for this one move, which is this rook to g8 check. And now if you go back, this is just mate in one. So here you don't want to go back. What can you do? Just king to h3. But now there's just one trouble with this move, that even if you go here, doesn't mean that your troubles are over, because now Tal goes for the beautiful queen to g7. And now if the queen moves, this is going to be mate, so queen has to remain on that diagonal. But here, just bishop to d1 by Fischer, trying to avoid anything. But now comes the killer blow, the final move, which is this rook to e6, and there is nothing that is stopping that. So it was on this move, on move 33, that Robert James Fischer resigned the game, and Tal got this spectacular victory in the candidates tournament in 1959 in just 33 moves. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these. So stay tuned for the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.